is that talk about their experiences here is that we don't get to hear it that often, and I love that. I love that about spaces like this and the ability to do that. So this first piece I'm going to do is called Palabok as a Second Language, and I wrote this sort of in my own journey, getting in touch with being Filipino, and Palabok is a Filipino dish. When I first came to Canada, I, like lots of people, had to take English as a second language. So, so that's where kind of the title is from. If you ever find yourself needing to survive in a white town, there are 3 things you must remember to do. 1, miss home. Listen to that yearning in your soul. Miss home like branches miss a song of birds in the middle of this Canadian winter. Like it exists beyond bricks in a frame. Miss home like the last gunman on the firing squad looked into Rizal's eyes and missed his humanity. Like your tongue misses a language that was stolen from you and never returned. And if one more person asks you whether or not you speak Tagalog or Filipino, tell him that your tongue has mastered Palabok and he cannot learn it. He cannot learn the language of hard-boiled eggs and chicharron, of noodles that slip through your fingers as you reach for the only taste of home you have. It is a language prepared for those who cannot ever return home. For those whose dark skin has been erased, indigenous blood diluted, who can no longer hear her ancestors sing. And his colonizer tongue cannot wrap itself around it. His taste buds are not strong enough to handle the salt in our ocean. He is too bland for the flavor of our hearts and our struggle. This garlic wipes off his pale skin, a reminder that he has no place here. That this is a place for the living. The deep orange of this language reminds us of a life that we have clawed into existence. Not of the crimson spilled by the gunpowder of the ones who tried to own us, rape us, break us into nothingness. We exist, abrasive, unfamiliar, vibrant. 2, read. Stacy and Chin, Nair Wahid, Chingy Chen, let their poetry bathe you in diasporic heartbreak. Read Nowell Hopkinson and Octavia Butler about futures where skin like yours exist. Despite the world that tries its hardest to erase you, you exist. Despite the microaggressive bullshit, the not so subtle racism, despite that white girl in your class complaining about her Filipina nanny. Read that girl. She won't know what hit her. Learn to read that look in your eyes, a mix of violence, pain, and gratitude for this land. Miles away from home, but stolen, just like yours. Read language unfamiliar to your tongue and let it expand you. Let it breathe outside the confines of literature, too strict to define your nature. Read the stars. Find the brightest and turn your back on it. Your road is south. It has always called your heart back home. 3, write. Write poetry, an essay, a song lyric, a rant, a call to arms. Write your ancestors back into the history books. Let the pen overflow with a river of your truth. Write love letters to yourself. Reminders of your strength, your courage, and your fragility. Shoot, send a sext. Write words that'll make your cheeks blush and your pussy wet. Words that you wouldn't want your best friend to find. Words that you kind of want your best friend to find. Write your dreams back into reality. Write toxic people out of your life. Write the wrongs your parents have intended in your mind. You are the protagonist of this story. Flawed and real, pick up and write yourself into being your permanent markings. Crop circles, hieroglyphics, you are etched by sharp objects on park benches. No amount of poison can erase you. So write. Write recipes, a roadmap to guide you. Dip your fingers in the chuete and mark the spot of your heart. Write in a language familiar to your tongue. You know that taste. It tastes of home.